Hi, Lisa here. I want to show you some really interesting patriotic stamps that I have found near and dear to my heart. I just have fallen in love with them. And the first one that I want to show you is this one. For Those Who Served is really the main stamp, and then the flag background. I just love how it all came together, and it really came together really fast. Let me show you what I did. So with a cardstock cut to size, I stamped this stamp. This is Old Glory, and that's what the background of the stamp looks like. So it's really a nice stamp, and I never have any problems. So I stamped that first. I stamped this background first, and then with archival ink, and then I stamped this on top of this. I don't mask it. I don't do anything because the black ink is gonna cover up everything else. And then you're left with just a blank canvas. Then all I did was color with watercolored pencils inside here and then here, and it probably took me 10 minutes to color everything and mat the card, and I was done. Super simple. And how beautiful is that? I just love the simplicity of this card, and I can't wait to give it to uncle that, or my grandfather actually, who has served in the Vietnam War. So anyways, there's that one. The one that I want to show you how to do is the eagle, and I wanted a very simple, kind of see the simple blue gradient textured background that looks like it's by the river in the sky. It's just one of my new favorite stamps. And I actually had a friend come over while I was doing all my stamping, and she saw this and she's like, "Oh, I know so many people that would love to have this." So I'm like, "Well, let me know how many you need and I'll start making cards for you." So here's this stamp. Isn't that gorgeous? And then I stamped this sentiment, which is also from Blue Night Stamps, in their patriotic sentiment set. And this is eagle with fish. So let me show you how that works. I'm using some Scribble Sticks, Dana Wakley Scribble Sticks. And I'm using actually only 2 colors for this, which makes it really simple. I am using this night and then the sky. So there you go, those two. And that's all you need for this. And what I love about it is it is fairly simple. There's not a whole lot. This is a great beginner's one because you can do a whole lot and not have to feel like you have to be super careful. So to get started, I'm just I'm doing that flat wash again that I really love. I love a flat wash, and the reason why is because I can always go back and add to it. But the flat wash really is a foundation. And if you can get the flat wash down, then you're almost there. I'm not paying attention too much to these wings because I'm going to be painting those brown and the blue, like it'll just counteract. So I'm not like super worried about that. Now when I get down here where the tail should be white, I am going to be a bit more particular. But again, I'm just adding, this is just my wash. And this card actually does go pretty fast. It's not it looks detailed because it is, but with watercolor you don't have to, with watercolor you can make those textures look like you spent a long time when you really didn't. And that's what I love about watercolor. Okay, now I don't know about you, but this is like the least fun part is paying attention to the little bit of the details that I have. Now I'm going to start painting with just the clean water for now. Again, I'm looking for like an overall tone to this, and I'm about to that point. Okay, so now I can just kind of dot in extra pigment wherever I think I want. I do want the wings to be kind of, but I'm looking, I want it to be linear, meaning there's like, there's a rhythm, there's a rhyme to what I'm doing. So now with my clean water, I'm just going to add water and move that pigment. Water goes wherever pigment goes. So if you don't want water to go where it goes, just don't add water. It's easier said than done, and it takes a little bit of practice. But once you understand that, sorry, I blotted the extra water on my paper towel. Okay, now I'm going to go to the other side. And I'm going to blot it again with my paper towel, just like that. Okay. Now, because I don't want that harsh line right there, now I can go in with my lighter blue. And now I'm just going to add pigment to it. You can add as much or as little as you want. I kind of like to add a lot of color. But this process does go by fast. And the neat thing about watercolor is you don't have to spend a lot of time to really make beautiful textures in watercolor once you know how to make the textures. And I think that's what I like about watercolor so much. And I'm trying to not have so many harsh edges because I don't want a whole lot of harsh edges. I want that beautiful look where it looks painterly and not so many hard edges. Okay, I'm liking that. I'm going to let that be, and I'm going to go back to the water just a little bit, and I'm going to add some more darker colors to the water. And I don't want to do like straight lines. That will not be very interesting to the eye or to your project. I also thought this would be a neat thing to just frame for those that serve and our country. And I don't know, I just think this is such a beautiful stamp. The artist who made it really is talented. I love her artwork whenever she sends it to get stamps made. And just, she's very talented. Heidi, if you're watching this, thank you for drawing this. This is just gorgeous. Okay, so I'm going to call that done. The background. Now I can go in with a smaller brush, and I'm going to use a brown, this Scribble Stick mixed umber. Umber is what it's called. I love these names, right? Although burnt umber is a brown that I use a lot. So I'm paying attention to where the blue is. I don't want it to necessarily start bleeding into the blue, so I'm letting that outside blue kind of dry a little bit. And I do not want to get this tail brown. You don't know how many times I painted this beautiful eagle and painted the tail. I was like, no, 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 I need to start over again. So just leave the tail alone. That's the best. I know, right? Oh, you get too busy painting and forget exactly where you need the paint at. That is half the battle. And so what I'm doing is I'm just coloring with the stick. I'm not coloring on it. I'm using the stick as like a pigment stick. and I like doing it that way. I feel like I have more control on how much pigment is on and off my brush. My artist brain wants to do something with that white tail. No. I don't know. My friend who lives, I don't know, River City in Iowa, she sees bald eagles every morning, and she'll send me pictures, and oh, they're just majestic, and I love them. And sometimes they're chattering and catching fish. It's beautiful, and I always love watching bald eagles. Wish I was in that Rivers town, Iowa Falls. You know where Iowa Falls is. I would love to know why and how it's a small town of like 5,000, but it sure is gorgeous. It's one of my prettiest. It's a pretty town with a river and falls. So, anyways, okay, so this is almost done. I'm going to do the beak. I am using tangerine for the beak because it dries a lot lighter. It looks pretty dark right there. It's going to dry a lot lighter, and I just took away the pigment. So my brush does not want to put pigment on, but it does dry a lot lighter. So that's why I'm using orange, because it's almost going to turn out to be like a yellow color when I'm done. All right, and now for the little fish. I like purple for lots of things, and the purple just kind of blends in with the blue. It kind of gives it a grayish look if you're going for just, but you can color it whatever. And I know that a lot of the fish have like a purple tint to it anyway. So, and it's gonna dry a little bit lighter. And then I forgot the feet. There's its feet. I'm gonna make it a little bit bolder. And that is done. So I used 4 colors: the brown, the sky, I believe this one is called Peacock Oak Sky, and then that purple. And there you have it. And then I just mounted it onto an A2 card base, and it was done. It's super easy to do. So anyways, I hope that this helps you learn how to paint skies and water a little bit more. It's just turning out beautiful. Every time you paint it, it's going to turn out a little bit different because you can never paint the same way exactly. So it's fun, and I love I love these lines. It really adds to the picture. If you don't like those are called blooms. Um, you can just smooth them off with your brush. I don't mind them. I don't want a harsh edge, but I don't mind them a little bit. Like this one might bug me, so I might try and smooth that out. And then I'll just keep going up until it's done. There. That'll look perfect. When it dries, it'll dry a little bit lighter and you won't even notice. And it's fun. I love playing with your colors. And when you're playing with your colors, my favorite thing is to just think about what you're painting. So as I'm painting the sky and the river, I'm thinking about being in the river, being on the river. It gives it more feeling, more emotion, and while you're painting, it just like comes to life. And that's what I like about painting. So enjoy painting, and we'll see you soon.